yeah, I had to switch phones. Now, like I was saying, so somebody see a person that's just strong, and it's that the person's not empathetic, but the person is just not just sugar whimpery fool, and so they start slapping terms like, oh, sociopaths are that way, introverts are that way. No, human beings are that way. Because like they said, if anybody always had to slap a term on somebody, I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm gonna reverse this. And don't narcissists always do that? Like when you're happy, what does a narcissist say? When you think you're happy, say you have healed for something, what does the narcissist say? When you heal, you've already healed. Is that not narcissistic? Right. Now, whenever you say something, if you on the camera or whatever, some people say, oh, everybody has to be seen on camera and stuff. Well, then why are you watching them? Right. But think about it. The person saying that is a so-called therapist or whatever, but at the same time, they're saying these same things. And see, this is not reverse psychology. This is what it is. So, see, you go around talking and giving terms, it's just plain stupid. Now, you got people that just are straight up of the devil and just straight up evil, and they straight up do things. We could call them a narcissist or whatever, or sociopath, okay. But people that just don't follow your norm because, you don't like it, or because they was able to not be played, and you don't like it, or you don't like how they tell their story, or because they're far from perfect, never claim to be perfect, but they're 100% innocent with the stuff you talking about you went through. So what they go through is something different. But because they didn't go through what you go through, right? If somebody talking about their brother or their uncle, all of a sudden they're talking about their spouse. That's what the so-called coach or whatever would say. That's the point. So when you help, that's what I said. When you help somebody, you gotta be specific with who you helping, what you helping, and how you helping. That's the point. So that narcissism, this and that, all that stuff, right? It's not called narcissism. That's what I'm trying to not, diagnose nobody with that. Like, those that claim they help. Because, again, right? Because all them rules, that's what you're doing. That's called manipulation, right? See, if you're gonna, that's why it's good to like me. That's why when I speak, the world listens. The world listens. Because I don't idolize men, women, or children to the point that I would say, oh, well, when men and women, or when this, I don't do that because, but listen, again, and this is not narcissistic. This is just reality. Men, women, and children are not that important if you would slip to that degree. Because there was some people be saying, if they slip to that degree, they wouldn't be able to tell a story. Because that's called foolishness. Right, so let me say something. You got somebody that say narcissist dead, that's foolishness. So if anything, okay, like they say, I'm gonna say it. If you were that foolish, then you were that foolish, a narcissist had every right to take your self-esteem. What was your self-esteem on the show for somebody to take it? Your confidence. What was that on the show for somebody that makes no sense? That's the point. Just say you were lost. The person didn't right. See, the person themselves is a manipulator, or your family or whatever the case is. They're manipulators. That's the point. And when people hear me say this, instead of confronting themselves, what they do, they reverse back on me, which is the rule of a narcissist, right? So-called. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So the stuff you do, you shouldn't try to reverse it. If you're gonna heal, just heal people. Like, don't heal those that speak on wounds that they don't suffer. Right? Like I said, me myself, I suffer many wounds, but the wounds I suffered was at the hands of myself. It'll never be at the hands of a man or a woman. And but much like I always tell you, it'll much quicker and faster be at the hands of a man because, right, a man is not the weaker vessel, number one. But then again, you got men, right, with these effeminate traits when they speak and they, they make the woman look better than them. So, right, just look for reality when it comes to me. Reality. You don't like some of the ways, it doesn't matter if you like it or not. Because remember, you was labeling stuff that wasn't, you were labeling things that wasn't true anyway. Which is that's what narcissists do. They always label beforehand. Every time you do something. If you listen to a song, I'm gonna tell you how dumb people are. Right, and this so-called people, right, online, whatever. Right, man, like I said, the narcissist always watching you. Oh no, people are always watching you. Let's just be real. The manipulative person, the insignificant spirit might watch you much more, but they're watching you too. If you listen to a song, a love song, they will say, oh, when you listen to love songs when you're hurt, and you're like, okay, first of all, I've been listening to love songs before I even had a woman. I've been listening to love songs before I even had sex. I've been listening to songs like, if you listen to the song by Holland Oates called Man Eater, some people will take that and say, well, and you're like, I've been listening to Man Eater since I was little. Right, and and not even that. I've been listening to just like the song by Keith Sweat, Twisted. I love that song. A dude named Bobby Simmons used to play it. I was about to graduate high school when that came out. So that's the point, but that's what I'm trying to tell you. So you got people that just follow everything you do and then they're labeling it. So just be real with yourself. You go to your therapist, you this, you that, you survive your boyfriend, you survive your husband, you survive this, you survive your that. No, you didn't survive anything. What you realized was how foolish you was. Because see, remember, they did that to you because they see that you're foolish and manipulative and can be manipulated. That's all. Now, if family did that to you, real family, that's something different because sometimes, you got to get out of that. Right. Like I said, in my case, my siblings were jealous because, look, high school diploma, college degree, mom support, dad support, grandma support. Right, that's what I had. And like I said, right, so when I say these things, you have to say, somebody come try, what's that? So listen, just be real with who you are and be real why you got whatever. Don't label this and label that and label, because, right, like we said, see, that's the thing. When you look at that, that's all narcissistic, because that's what narcissists always forward what you say, forward it before you do it. Yeah, I don't care if you're face-to-face with somebody, you can make a video and you're forwarding things and you're overshowing people in your video because you want to be said what you want to be said. So right, like I said, so if I don't idolize a BITCH or some clown, you'll do it for me by talking about somebody I don't idolize. See, let me tell you what I idolize. Now, me personally, woo! I idolized Ric Flair. I did. I idolized Hulk Hogan. I idolized Sting. I would call my mother from night school when I was about to graduate and say, Mommy, take wrestling for me. Take wrestling for me. That's why I idolized it. That's why I got words from wrestling that I remember. See, that's the point. That's why I really did. I idolized wrestlers. I love it still, but that's why I idolized. Real talk. I idolized wrestling so much I wouldn't give a damn about a woman when I was little. And that's real, but I'm not little, but when I was young, growing up. So I idolized wrestling. So, real talk. So, I'm just trying to tell you, be real out here. Train going by. Okay, let that train go by. Oh yeah, so yeah, I idolize Hulk Hogan. Right, I really idolize. That's what I idolize. Real, I ain't never idolized a woman because I'm just gonna be real with you. Like growing up as a man, you just wanna get something. Sometimes that's how. And not only that you want to just get something, you just might adore a woman, but there's never no idolization to it. Like I tell everybody, if you was ever say I idolize somebody, it would have to be my grandmother, and don't nobody fit that scenario. And at least my grandmother knew to bring me to Christ. See, and as you can see in the evidence of today, she said, that's what I'm saying. So real healing is what a person tells you when they tell it to you, not what you try to make it. Right. And it's not even called healing. It's not even called healing. It's not even called awakening. It's not called anything. It's called knowing life and knowing the stages of life and knowing the game. Because see, like I always tell you, life is a game. So life comes with the stumble. If you expected you wasn't gonna stumble with something, and I'm not talking about I stumbled with a woman. I stumbled with a man. No, stop with the common lame cliches. You stumble because you stumbled. That man or woman didn't make you stumble, and they didn't. Right, you understand? And even if them didn't make you stumble. Why do you think, as I said, I had all these jealous siblings, and I still was the only one to get the high school diploma. And I'm just being real though, right? I was the only one that did certain things that they didn't do. Why? Why? Because I don't blame them for anything. Right, I actually accredit them for my success. How God set it up. That's just the point. See, that's why you love God with your heart, mind, soul, and strength. So there's no such thing called these things some of you people are saying. Now, you can heal from yourself certain things. There's certain things that you're doing you need to be healed from, but not from people. You can heal from people. That makes no sense. No sense at all. Train going by, train going by. Right, but that makes no sense at all. That makes no sense at all. That's just the point. So, you know, if you're doing certain things or somebody's doing it to you, and somebody's just carrying guns to you, or they're waving guns at you and you're still living, you could be healed from that by leaving that, by not going around that person. Or you could be healed from that by trying to help that person, and then you're healed from that. So it's not about you being healed and then thinking, it don't work like that. Healing is not that, right? Healing is when you heal somebody else. That's just how it is, right? So, right, so you know, there's no healing for me person. Okay, you can keep going and move on, but there's no healing for my person. I mean, okay, but like I said, then you must have been a lost, sick puppy, right? That's what you had to be. Yes, and just like when I said that the narcissist was a klepto, I didn't mean they're a klepto because they took something from me. I mean they're a klepto because they would try to steal at any cost. See, it's very simple. And like I said, see, in the world that we live in, you know, normally you're like, only narcissists, when somebody speaks, they always say, oh, this and that. And you're like, I'm not even saying that, right? And that's just the point. And so-called narcissists, right? Every time I say something, they always get it confused. I can talk about a man, they'll talk about a woman. I can talk about yes, they'll talk about no. I can't even listen to a song. I can't even, like I say, man, if I show my ass and put my boxes on Gmail, a person would actually pretend like they didn't see it and say, oh, when you show your butt and this and that, because that's just the workings of a curious world sometimes. The world is just so curious, they try to be into everything. So look, if you wasn't so curious about things, I think maybe, then, you know, you wouldn't be, some of y'all, people wouldn't even been able to do certain things to you. But like genuine, so you're so anxious, but on all levels, not, you know, right, so that's why they was able to do it to you. Now, it had nothing to do with them doing it to you and you putting your trust in them. Nah, you human like anybody else. You're not that foolish, brother or sister, right? So in order to carry on in real life, just remember there's no such thing as the stuff that you're saying. The only people that can really be healed from certain things are those that are under oppression overseas because they're being ruled by dictators, the young kids that are not eating, you know, and things like that. And those that are really innocent, not those that are saying this and that and that and this and that and this and this and that, no. Right, so them are the only ones that can be healed. They're the ones that can be healed. The ones that are in the hospital with cancer, they can be healed. The ones that God healed of the corona. Somebody got AIDS or HIV and God took that away. That's called healing. Somebody that was brought to Christ when everybody denied Christ. That's called healing. Right. Somebody in their everyday life that never let a man or a woman or nobody play them. They might play the game along with them. And that's called life. And that's called healing because you already know the game and you already know the ending. It's like a game. You know, like with Mario Brothers, you already know the ending. And while you're going through it, the princess or King Koopa or whatever, they're not coming to you saying, oh, okay, well, you gotta recover and heal and do this. No, you just gotta go to the end and save the princess. Same with Pac-Man. You gotta eat the power pellets and then you just defeat the ghost. You don't have somebody constantly saying, "Oh, well, this is what this that this that." Right? That's called in this world. That's called narcissism because you don't distract somebody while they're doing something. Right? That's what that's what narcissists do. Like people say, narcissists do that. So you got everybody in the everyday world doing the same thing, but they're saying narcissists do it. So no, right? Remember, when you do that, you're trying to stop somebody from their destiny because you're trying to have your voice be heard while they're on their way to victory. So no, that's not gonna happen. Nobody's fooled by that, and that's what many of you be doing, as I said. So that's not called healing, and that's not help healing nobody. Save some kids, give some charities, glorify God, preach the real word, pray with each other, pray for overstanding, pray that you follow God and love Him with heart, mind, and soul before you try to pray for your business or whatever the case is. And learn what real healing is, and and just let your mind or whatever be healed. Because just because you say this and say that don't mean what you're saying is not going to happen to you again. And it's not because you don't attract them kind of people, or you attract them kind of people. That's out here in the world itself, and it's going to be in the world. So that's just the point. So while you don't attract narcissists, you attract people that like to play the game with you. And if you know how to defeat the game, you're not even you know how to defeat the game. That's just the ones you got your foot over. And you see, this is just the point. That's the ones you got your foot over. And that's just the point. So you're not attracting anything. First of all, you're already attracted. So how are you attracting it? Right. So that's the thing. So when people say that, it's like they're stuck in their own loop. Right. I go for a cultural therapist. It doesn't matter. They're caught in their own loop. So they always just say, "Oh, when this and when that." No. There's no such thing as that. It's just real simple. Right, see, everybody want a cliche and want to say that, but everybody know deep down, it's a lot of human traits, people sneaking around, following other people, and then trying to heal. That's what narcissists do. That's what narcs do. So look, just love who you are and never let nobody take who you are. That's all I love. Nobody was ever take who I am. And I always succeeded. I'm going to keep succeeding. And my succeeding is abundant. And who's more abundant than me? The Most High God. Who's more abundant than me? Christ. Who's more abundant than me? The Holy Spirit. So I can testify spirit by spirit because I had a spirit. I can't just speak in words. So see, this is not loving God with your heart, mind, soul, and strength. This is loving yourself because you never hated yourself. Right? Because those of us that was already healed, we couldn't hate ourselves. It makes no sense. We hate the world, just as Christ said. See, so always just remember what real healing is, and go out there and heal. In Jesus' name, peace.